So today I'm going to be giving you guys my full review on Azzaro Chrome Extreme. Recently did a buying guide on this whole fragrance line, or at least most of them except for a couple of the limited edition ones, but I did cover 10 of them there, which is a pretty good start. If you want to figure out where you want to start collecting the line, you can check that video out. And in there I spoke very highly of Chrome Extreme. This is actually one of my favorites out of the whole entire lineup. It's one that caught a little bit of hype when it first came out as well. I also said in that video that I was late to the hype train. I never even boarded that hype train. I wasn't able to get my hands on this when it first came out, and then I just kind of forgot about it and got caught up in everything else. So today I'm going to be giving it the attention it deserves. Going to be doing a full review, tell you how it smells, how it performs, when you can wear it, and if I think it's worth picking up. Let's get into it. This one opens up right away with C notes, like you would expect from something like Azzaro Chrome. It's oceanic, it's bright, it's fresh, it's salty, it kind of has this airy, photorealistic ocean air smell. Nice opening. Get a little bit of orange up top as well, which is adding kind of a orange fruity sweetness. We'll take a look at that note breakdown here. Up top we have green mandarin. In the mid we have C notes, juniper berries. In the base, cashmere and amber. So really a pretty simplistic note breakdown. Not that it really needs a whole lot anyway here, because it's not a super heavy, super deep fragrance in terms of its complexity, but it's got just the right amount to really have your interest. You pick up on those juniper berries in here along with these C notes, and essentially that's kind of giving off a bit of an aromatic, somewhat woody pine type of smell. So it's a nice little balance there. Maybe not something you normally see with an aquatic fragrance, but it does come through and it works well. Also, one thing that's pretty hard to miss here is the cashmere. And again, I've said this before, but that's kind of the new trend. It's essentially an aroma chemical that has a very modern, woody, clean, fresh smell to it, and it's being used heavily in a lot of fragrances. Even if it's not listed these days, it's probably in there somewhere. Azzaro wasn't hiding it with this one. They put it front and center, or actually bottom center and the base of the scent, and you do pick up on it. I wasn't the biggest fan of that note when it was first starting to be utilized heavily. It just didn't really work for me. And now I'm to the point where if it's used in a way that I like, then I enjoy it. And essentially what I mean by that is if it has plenty of other accompanying notes to balance it out and to complement it, then I like it. But, you know, in fragrances where maybe it's the forefront and that's all you smell, I'm still not there yet. With this cashmere and in the base, you do pick up on amber. So this one here automatically starts to slot into the blue fragrance category a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Fragrantica comparisons. It's been a while since we've done this here. So the first one, Acqua di Gio Profondo. So this is interesting, and I will say I do agree with that. There is a Profondo type of smell. A lot of what that is this and Profondo both share this minerals type of smell. It's a very different approach to typically what you get with an aquatic scent, right? Because a lot of aquatics are very watery, salty, that sort of thing, and they kind of run together. But there's something about this and Profondo that it has this rich, deep, ocean minerals, almost rock type of smell. It's very unique, very interesting, and it may sound weird if you haven't experienced it, but once you get your nose on these, then you'll kind of see where I'm coming from. So that one's voted 40 to 21, so we have quite a few people on board, and again, I do agree. Now, it's not a one-to-one clone. It's not maybe a full-on alternative to Profondo if you're trying to save some money. I guess it could be depending on how close you want to get, but what I'm trying to say is there are still differences, which we will cover in a minute. But yeah, I do see the comparison there. Also with the orange up top, it makes sense. Next up, Light Blue Intense. I don't get any sort of Light Blue Intense smell. They just are in different ballparks. Again, Light Blue Intense. Grapefruit, C notes with a lot more of a saltiness, so a bit different for me. Polo Ultra Blue, is that what it is? Polo Deep Blue Parfum, that's what it was. A little bit. I do see that a little bit. Now that Polo, from what I remember, trying to peek at the notes here, I thought it had more of like a saltiness too, but I can't remember for sure. It's been a while since I've smelled it, but from kind of what I'm picking up on here, I do kind of see a little bit of a similarity there. Chrome Intense, I don't really get a comparison to that one. Bulgari Aqua Atlantique, similar thing, not so much. It's not quite to that level of salty and blue ambroxan. Bentley Silver Lake, I guess a little bit, because Silver Lake kind of smells a little bit like Profondo / the original, but not quite as much. And that's pretty much it. Invictus Aqua, no, and it just goes downhill as per usual there. So yeah, if I had to think of one fragrance that this smells the most similar to, it's going to be Profondo. Let's get into the performance here, and this is where it gets really good. Longevity on my skin, consistently around 7 to 8 hours, maybe sometimes a bit more depending on the weather, that sort of thing. And you're probably like, well, what's so great about that? That's not like a 12-hour fragrance or anything like that, and not something to write home about. And yeah, I see where you're coming from there. But when you step back and look at the big picture, you look at the fragrance line that this is in, Azzaro Chrome. Really, these days, none of those are known for being performance monsters. And when you also take into account the price of this one, then it kind of starts to come full circle and you're like, oh yeah, actually that performance here is actually really good. It's entirely dependent upon what this is packaged in. And because it's a chrome fragrance that is not a whole lot of money, the performance is good. If this was bottled in an MFK bottle and you're paying $300+, then we would have to talk about that a little bit more. But I think where it sits right now, it's a great performer here. This one isn't Eau de Parfum, by the way. Projection is a little bit softer. Now, it doesn't quite have the punch and bright pop of an Eau de Toilette, but it does do very well. Definitely one that will occupy your personal space. So not a skin scent, but one that people, once they do get in within a comfortable distance of you, then they'll be able to pick up on it. Especially if you're wearing this one in the summer. That heat is going to make it push even more. So all in all, performance on this one is fantastic and definitely above average compared to the rest of the lineup. It smells amazing. I mean, this dry down here as it's been sitting, it has this cooling effect also from the juniper berries, kind of just giving this aromatic, cooling pine needle sensation, along with the aquatic notes, along with a little bit of amber in there, that cashmere, and this smells really pleasant. Let's talk about the compliment factor. Shouldn't have to be discussed all that much, but we will just run through it. It's going to be a compliment beast, a compliment slaughterhouse. This is going to rake them in, especially in the summertime. Now, this time of year, as we're moving into the cooler weather here, it'll still get you compliments. You're still going to smell great, but you're going to find that you'll want to gravitate towards things that are warmer, maybe depending on your climate, I guess. But a lot of people like to do that. They like to switch it up. And I think even women to a certain extent, as they get into the hoodie season and the Starbucks fall pumpkin spice stuff and the wintertime peppermint mochas and, getting all in the sweaters and how girls get with all of that holiday stuff. And so they probably also would appreciate smelling something warmer and sweeter on a guy. And this is not really going to be that for you. It's still going to work, but not nearly as efficient. If you're wearing this one in June, July, August, in the peak time when everyone's high on summer, this is going to absolutely kill it for you. And again, it's so affordable that a lot of you guys can get your hands on this one and just absolutely crush it. So yeah, great compliment factor, great mass appeal. And also the quality is good. It's very acceptable given the price point of this one. Actually, I would say above average. It really does have a nice smooth opening into the dry down. Not saying that's all natural smelling by any means, but it does do very well. And also, compared to the rest of the chrome line, above average on that quality as well. Some of the other chromes can get a little bit on the synthetic side. This one here is pretty smooth from opening to dry down. Really well done. Cooling, refreshing, fruity, fun, summery. This stuff here is awesome. Easily one of the best in the lineup and one you should definitely pick up for next spring and summer. So that's going to do it for me. That's my review on Chrome Extreme. Let me know down below, what do you think of this one? What is your favorite Azzaro Chrome fragrance? And I will link this down below to the discount websites. I'll link to multiple of them so that way you can shop around and see where it's cheapest, because wherever it's cheapest right now, it may not be that way in 3 or 4 months. That's why I don't just say, oh, it's cheapest at FragranceNet or FragranceX. It's always changing, so all the links will be there so you can do your own kind of price shopping. And if you want to become a channel member and see some bonus content, chat with me in a group chat, that sort of thing, the button will be down below. You know what to do. Big shout out to all my channel members. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the support. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.